This video is brought to you by PowerPerformanceProducts.com. Get $15 off when you mention MMA interviews now.
Spencer Lazara, MMAinterviews.tv, alongside TJ Grant. He has a massive fight this week, UFC 160. Safe to say the biggest of your career?
Yeah, definitely the biggest fight. I'm pumped for it. I know it's at stake, and I'm just incredibly motivated to fight Gray Maynard. And hearing what the boss had to say just adds to the motivation.
What were your thoughts when you first found out that this could quite possibly be a #1 contender fight?
Well, realistically, when I first heard, I was like a little bit surprised, but at the same time, it's just a testament to hard work and being in the sport a long time. And every time out there, I always try to, just do my best. And, I'm just so happy to be fighting on the pay-per-view and fighting Gray Maynard. And on top of that, what's at stake is just incredible.
Taking it back a little ways, when you decided to make that cut from 170 to 155, what went into that decision, and obviously was a good one?
You know what? It was just I realized what people were kind of like walking around. I knew I was an undersized welterweight, and I just wanted to try what everyone else is doing, cut weight, and it's worked out good for me, and I feel at home. I mean, I don't have to walk into a fight or go to weigh-ins going, how big is this guy going to be? And it's just been a blessing for my career.
Also, your Muay Thai skills are something that made my jaw drop when you made that cut and you first came down to 55. Talk about that progression and where it comes from.
Just long time training. I put in hard work. I got a great coach. He's always every fight he's got me doing something different to get better, to make something better, whether I need it to win that fight and I feel like I've done that. But early on in my career, I didn't necessarily get opportunities to go and strike with guys because I felt like I could submit them. And at the UFC level, I mean, fans like to see people stand up, and at the same time you just got to do what can the path of least resistance. And I feel like my striking's on par and I can stand in there with anyone.
I heard them say that you made a trip to Thailand, though, and you spent some time over there because, man, those elbows you laid on Wyman were super impressive. It's rare you see a fight stopped on the ground with elbows, much less standing.
Yeah, I've made the trip to Thailand now, I think 5 times. But I mean, I learned a lot on all those trips, and I put in a lot of work, and I've taken things home from there and helped get it better. But at the same time, I just come from a great team, Fit Plus, and it's a whole bunch of things combined, man. Like if you just every day chip away and work at it, you're gonna be good, and one day you're gonna be great, and that's kind of my goal. And I spend a lot of time working on all the different disciplines, so I'm ready to go.
Talk about the fight with Gray and the matchup and how you see things sort of playing out.
It's hard to say. I know what kind of fighter Gray is. He's aggressive. He likes to bang. He likes to move forward, and he's got that wrestling with that knockout punching power. So it's like you got to respect both. He's more than willing to exchange, but he's also more than willing to take you to the ground. And I got my work cut out for me on Saturday, and I'm just I'm excited to get out there and use my tools, which I feel like I have the tools to beat anyone in the world. And it's a matter of believing in myself and going out there and executing. And I feel like I have a good chance.
He seemed like in recent fights, his most recent fights, he seemed to be happy to stand and punch with anybody. Do you feel like he may revert though back to his wrestling, especially considering how you've been knocking guys out?
You know what? I don't think he's going to be scared of any aspect of the fight, and I'm not. I feel like he's a high-level fighter, and he's going to come out and do what he needs to do. So I got to be sharp. I got to be ready to fight him everywhere, and he's got to be ready to fight me everywhere, because I can tell you right now, I'm more than comfortable anywhere this fight goes.
Definitely nice to be well-rounded and think about that. But are you one of the game plan type of fighters? Or are you more of, like you're saying, just kind of go out and what sort of happens?
After I win perfect fights and they ask me about like the game plan, I'm like, yeah, we had a game plan. But you know what? I think a lot of that is time, reaction. You got to drill it. It has to become second nature. Obviously, there's game planning involved, but at the same time, you got to go out there and you got to be ready to fight everywhere. And that's basically what I've always approached every fight. There's plans, but then there's times where you just gotta fight, and you got to do what you got to do. and sometimes you got to wing it. So I try to listen as best I can and just do the best I can. But sometimes, ego or whatever takes over, and that's something I'm trying to get away from. But we'll see.
Thoughts on the main event?
You know what? I think it's a good main event. I think that Kane's going to win. I think that just the way he won last time, he's gonna do that again. I don't think there's really anyone at heavyweight that can handle his wrestling and his fitness. JDS is the guy and I think that he has a chance in a rematch. But as far as right now, I'd have to say Kane's the number one.
There you have it. Anything else you want to say?
No, just man, hope you guys enjoy the fight, and tune in, follow me on Twitter at TJ_Grant. Thanks.
Definitely cannot wait for this fight. TJ Grant taking on Gray Maynard this Saturday night live, UFC 160.